recorded as usual. Okay. So let me just double or triple check this time around. Okay, wait. Just give me a second. Just a second. So start recording. Yes. Okay. So we're doing theme 4 today, inshallah. As much as we can, we're going to try to finish the listening and the speaking part. And then next time we'll move to the rest of the theme. I think we'll need more than one extra class this week. We're having Tuesday, as usual, at 4 o'clock. And perhaps we'll call for a third or a second extra class on perhaps Wednesday. We'll agree on that towards the end of the class, inshallah. Okay. So what is it that we have on the agenda? We have lots of things. As you can see, this is theme 4, and it's sports and leisure. It is sports and leisure, and this is something very relatable, something that we are all kind of either you either practice a sport or you are a fan of it, right? But this is how it goes. And when do you do sport or practice sport? Of course, it is in your leisure time. Leisure time means your free time, right? You wouldn't be busy with stuff, for example, preparing for exams, and you go and engage in a sport, whether to either watch or practice, right? You would leave that until you have leisure time. Okay. So this is what we're going to talk about. No, we cannot talk about the TMA now. We're going to talk about the TMA at the end of the class. I don't have time to kind of talk about it now. I finish what you're going to be tested on or against shortly, and then we talk about the TMA all we like. Just let's focus, because like I said, we have lots of things. And like always, we're going to start with some warm up exercises. Let me just go and see. Okay, warm up. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Remember, we spoke before about existential there is and there are, right? And we said that whenever you talk about, if you're perhaps sorting things out, you are in a room and you're making some kind of inventory of the room. I mean, you talk about how many chairs there are, whether there is a bed, a sofa, right? How many mirrors? Okay, how do you express that? You normally you simply say two mirrors, one sofa. No, this is not a sentence. Whenever people speak, they speak and talk in sentences. Okay, so if you're talking about the items in a place or in a class, for example, I want to talk about how many students there are. We have 41 or 40. In order to express it, I can simply say that we have 40 people in class or 40 students, or there are. So this there is and there are is what we call existential there. Okay, so people use it when they talk about the things that they have. Okay, you guys now, every and each one of you is in a room listening and watching, listening to and watching the class, right? I would like you to make an inventory of what you have back there in the room. And if you ask me, I'll tell you. There is one small bed in my room, the room where I am teaching from now. There is one small bed. There is one sofa. What else? There is obviously There is a computer. There is a cabinet, and I'm sitting on a chair. There is actually more than one chair. I'm going to say there are two chairs. Can you do that? Can you talk about what you have now in the room? So you're going to say there is or there are. There is for singular, if you're talking about singular things, okay, one single thing, or there are if it is plural. Yalla, go ahead. Mm, quickly, everyone. Okay. So there is no there are Abdullah. Abdullah, it's plural. So you're saying three. So by three tables, there are three tables. There is a book. This is what Khalid is saying. There is a TV. There are three sofas. Okay, Fairuz is saying there are three sofas. Um, Ahmad Mansour, there is a TV. Salim, there are two books. There is one bed. Nice. Okay. Go on, go on. There are two laptops. But Ahmed is saying there are two laptops. That's interesting. There is a table, Fairuz is saying. Okay. There is a car. MashaAllah. There is a car in the room, Adwa. You have a car in the room? Okay, good. Unless you're talking about perhaps a doll car or something. There are two glasses. Okay. There is one, I think you mean clock on the wall. Yeah, Anas, if it's on the wall, it's going to be a clock, not a watch. So there is one clock on the wall. Okay, that's good. You got the idea. Okay, so let's go to the exercise. Okay, so there is and there are. There is for singular and there are. Yeah, let's do it. I would like you to finish them all first, and then there are five. There are five mans. What do you mean by mans? You mean men, Abdullah? Men. There are five men in the room. Okay, so five people, right? Okay. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, you guys have five exercise or five items. I would like you to finish them first and then we talk about them. This is obviously a classroom and they are talking about the items in a classroom. Okay? Finish them off. This is easy. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Number one, a blackboard in the classroom. Okay, so a blackboard in the classroom. Means one, right? So there is a blackboard in the classroom. Number two, five books in the classroom. Five books. Okay, there are. Please use there. Use there. There are five books in the classroom. Three. Three desks in the classroom. Three desks. Yeah, but there are three desks in the classroom. Very good. Five boys in the classroom. Five boys in the classroom. There are. Okay, there are five boys. At chair in the classroom. At chair. This is five. Number five. There is a chair. There is a chair in the classroom. And then number six, two windows in the classroom. So what are you going to say? Mm, oh, there are two windows in the classroom. Absolutely. See how easy that is? Okay. So this is what we call existential there, whether there is or there are. Okay. Okay. So let's move to something else. This is also a warm-up item. So use a preposition on, in, at, and by quickly. I'll give you perhaps a minute because it's easy. Finish them off first and then we do them together. Okay? So finish them off. Okay, well, let's do it. So number A. Okay, so Jane goes to work. Jane goes to work by bus. Absolutely, by bus. Okay, by bus. Okay, let's move to number 2. My birthday is March. In March. Whenever you talk about months, you use in. Okay, so my birthday is in March. Okay, we're going to meet 4 p.m. We're going to meet for at 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. Students must go to school weekdays. Students must go to school weekdays. Remember, you have days. You have the word days. That's why you should use on. Okay. So students must go to school on weekdays. On weekdays. Do you do you do you do eh? Do you do play tennis? No, something is wrong. Do you play tennis the weekend? Do you play tennis? Okay, with the weekend, with the I suppose no, it's not in. Definitely, it's not in. It's either on or at. Remember, when you speak about the weekend, if this is British English, you're going to use at. If it's American English, you use on. So it's either on or at. Never in. Okay. So do you play tennis at the weekend or do you play tennis on the weekend? Okay. So his birthday is November 5th. His birthday, his birthday is November 5th. So you have November, but you also have 5th. 5th is a day. Whenever you have a day and a month, you take the day. Okay? So you take the preposition that goes with the day, which means on. Again. I'm doing F. I'm doing F. And I am saying that November 5th, you have November as a month and you have 5th as a day. Okay, November takes in and 5th takes on. I go with on. I go with the day. Okay, so his birthday is on November 5th. Okay, G. Let's go to G. We have art lesson. Mondays. We have art lessons Mondays. On. Okay, remember days take on. Let's go somewhere else very quickly. Okay, remember when we spoke about nouns and that we said that nouns are either countable, we can count them, we can have 1, 2, 3 from them, or uncountable. Uncountable means that you cannot count them. You cannot divide them into smaller units. When you talk about water, so can you split water? Can you divide water? No, right? When I say rice, can you split rice into smaller pieces? It is already small, right? Okay, this is called uncountable. So countable nouns are nouns that you can count. You can say 1, 2, 3, 10, and 100. Okay. When I let me give you an example. When I talk about student, when I say student, is it countable? Can I say 10 students? Can I say 10 students? Absolutely, yes. That's why it is countable. So 10 students, 100 students. How many students do we have? We have 46 students, S, right? Okay, so if the word is countable, you can make it plural. But if it is not countable, you cannot make it plural. Okay, it is always singular. Okay. Okay, so I would like you to tell me which of these words is countable and which of them is not. Okay, I'll give you a minute for that. It's an easy exercise, as you can see. Okay, finish them off first and then we do them together, like we always do. Yeah, I know it's easy. That's why we call it a warm up, yeah, Amir. No, stop. I mean, finish first, yeah, Lama. Finish them first. And you're getting, I mean, even when you answered, you got it wrong. Jam is not countable. You cannot divide jam into smaller units. Wait until everyone finishes, okay? Okay, so let's do it. Let's start with countable nouns. Countable nouns. May I remind you, countable nouns are nouns that can be counted, that you can make 1, 2, 4, 5 out of them. You can use s with them. You can use plural with them, okay? So countable. So which of these nouns is countable? Give me countable nouns from the list. No, jam, of course not. You know what jam is, ya Muhammad? Jam is something that you eat, right? So it's not countable. Wait. Guys, let's regulate it a little bit. Wait. Okay? Please wait. So what is it that we're doing now? We're doing countable nouns. So you only give me countable nouns. So jam is not countable now, okay? Okay. So what is countable? Egg, excellent. Ron is saying egg because we have 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs. Let me finish, please. Let me explain it, okay? Let me explain. So egg, 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs, and so on, okay? And then like Lama and Ahmad Mansour or Bandar, we have banana. So you have 1 banana, 2 bananas, 3 bananas, okay? Cheeseburger, you have 1 cheeseburger, 2 cheeseburgers, and 3 cheese, and so on. Tomato, 1 tomato, 2 tomatoes, 3 tomatoes. Good. I think this is the only countable nouns that we have, right? Sandwich, of course, like Ahmad Mansour is saying, sandwich. So sandwich is also countable. You order 1 sandwich, you order 5 sandwiches, right? Okay. So now let's move to uncountable nouns. So meat, right? You don't have one. You don't go and ask for 1 meat or 2 meats or 3 meats. This is not acceptable, right? Okay, so meat is not countable. We call it uncountable. So salt. So you have meat and salt. What else? Cheese. Cheese is also not countable, uncountable. Jam, of course, jam. Water, right? Are you getting the idea? Water, of course. So you have water. Okay, type or write the uncountable nouns. Write them, everyone. Write them. The uncountable nouns. Write them. Right? Yes. So salt, jam, salt, cheese, meat. Very good. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. See how easy that is. Okay. So this is perhaps more on the same. I would like you to tell me which of these nouns, which of them is countable, and if it's countable, you say C, or and which of them is uncountable. In this case, you're going to say or use U, uncountable. Okay, just wait. Finish them off first. Okay, look at them, all of them, and then we'll do them in 2 minutes. Okay, so finish them off first. Look at them. Okay, let's do them. Milk. So you're going to see to use C for countable and U for uncountable. So milk uncountable, like Zikra is saying. So milk uncountable. Helicopters, quickly. Helicopters. If you don't say it, I'm going to. Helicopters is countable, of course. 1 helicopter, 2 helicopters, and so on. Okay, snakes, countable. Snakes is countable. Snakes. Coffee, Coffee. Coffee is uncountable. Coffee is uncountable. Coffee is uncountable. Sugar. Sugar is uncountable. Lions. Lions. Lions are lions. Lions are countable. Like Reem is saying, lions are countable. Hats. Hats. Hats are countable. Hats are countable. Monkeys. Monkeys. Monkeys are countable. Children. 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 Countable. Bread. 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 Bread is not countable, mind you. Bread is not countable. Okay? We don't say many bread, we say much bread. Okay? How much bread do you need? Okay? Dresses. Dresses are countable. Dresses are countable. So shoes. Okay? Okay, countable. Money. Money is not countable. Okay? So money is not countable. But if I say real, you have 1 real, 2 reals, 10 reals, 500 reals. So real, the currency itself is countable, but the word money is not countable. Okay, doctors, doctors, countable. Meat is not countable. Meat uncountable. Meat يا جماعة, meat. Something that we eat, right? Uncountable. Trains. Trains is countable, yes. Trains. Boxes is countable. Water. What do you have to say about water? Water. It's not countable. Yeah, absolutely not. Okay. Beds. You have 1 bed, there are 2 beds. So bed is countable and beds are countable. Cheese. Say cheese, right? So cheese is not countable. Doors. Doors are countable. Yes. Teeth. You know, teeth. Teeth is countable. Butter. Okay, butter is uncountable. Yeah, that's it. Very quickly. Okay. So this is going to be our last warm-up exercise. Okay, so what is it that I need? I need collocations. Just to remember what collocations are. Collocations are always that are words that are always used together. Okay, when you talk about a motorbike, for example, what is the verb that you use with motorbike? When you speak what? What would be the word that you are going to use with speak, for example? When you talk about questions, what's the word that you use with questions, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm just explaining, okay? Think about them, all of them, and then we can talk about them. Yeah. I'll give you perhaps 2 minutes because we have 17 items. Finish them off first, and then we talk about them. Okay, Magid. Okay, no problem. Magid, we're meeting on Tuesday, inshallah, for the Excel class, like always at 4 o'clock. No problem. You're welcome. Take care. Huh? Okay. So let's do, okay, let's do them one at a time. So can you a motorbike? So what is the verb that you use with motorbike? You drive a motorbike? No, you don't drive a motorbike, right? You ride, you ride a no, you don't drive a motorbike, يا دعاء. You ride, R-I-D-E. You ride a motorbike. So can you ride a motorbike? Yes. So what else do you ride? You ride a camel, you ride a bicycle, right? You ride an elephant in India or I don't know where else, right? Okay. So number two, you ride, absolutely, Yazan. Yazan is saying ride a horse. Yeah, ride a donkey. Yes. Okay, let's move to Tim. Tim can the guitar. So people do what with the guitar? Do they eat it? What is it that they do with the guitar? So Tim can the guitar. Play, absolutely. So play the guitar. Okay. What's this noise? What's that? Wait. Okay. So Sam is milk at the moment. So what is it that people do with milk? You eat milk, you drink, absolutely. D-R-I-N-K. Sam is drinking milk at the moment. Yes, that's good. Who is that lady? I don't. Who is that lady? I don't. I don't. Who is that lady? I don't know. You need kah at the beginning. I don't know. Emma can Spanish and German, but her sister can't. Emma can Spanish and German. Can't speak, absolutely can't speak Spanish and German. Seven, speak, yes. I am my homework now. So what is it that you do with homework? Homework, my homework. You are okay. So I'm doing my homework now, and you do homework, right? Your name, please, and then G Garry. No, Garry. Perhaps you can say spell. Spell your name, please. Spell, which means give me the letters of your name. If I if somebody is going to if somebody asks me about the spelling of my name, I'm going to say Sameh for you. This is spell your name, please. Okay. Excuse me, can I you a question? Okay, question. Can I you a question? Ask, absolutely. Can I ask you a question? Okay. So please go to the supermarket and some cheese. Some cheese. Some cheese. Please go to the supermarket and no, you don't give. You don't give the supermarket cheese. You buy, buy, B-U-Y, buy cheese. Okay. He is water now because he's thirsty. He's doing what with water? He's obviously drinking water now because he's drinking water because he's thirsty. If you're thirsty, you drink water, right? If you're hungry, you eat, right? Every weekend they're thirsty. I don't understand this. This is obviously a mistake. Skip 13. 14. Let's do 14. Listen, Jack is a song. You do what with a song? You do what with a song? Listen, Jack. Listen. Jack is a song. I don't understand. What do you mean by hi? Singing, yes, like Yazan is saying. Okay, listen, Jack is singing a song. Is singing a song. We don't have to. If we have to, we could have used listen to or listening to. So listen, Jack is singing a song. Okay, can you, me please? I cannot carry these bags. Can you, me please? I cannot carry these bags. Can you, me please? Can you help? Yeah. Can you help me please? I cannot carry these bags. Okay. My dog and his cat are now. My dog doesn't like cats. My dog and his cat are perhaps fighting. Yeah, I think they fight. They're fighting now. My dog does not like cats. Okay, 17. There is a party in Anne's house. They are playing music and fighting. Do you think they are playing music and fighting? Of course not. They are playing music and perhaps dancing and singing, right? That's good. Okay, that's it. Let's let's go to the book. Okay. Okay, so like I said, today we're doing theme 4, and theme 4 is all, I'm sorry, is all about sports, right? Sports and leisure. And as I said at the beginning, sports is something that is part of our life, right? You either practice sports or you are a fan of one of them, right? And we also spoke about the link between sports and leisure. We said, first of all, that leisure means free time. So the link between sports and leisure would be the fact that you do sports, right? Uh, you practice sports in your leisure time, in your free time, right? Okay. So what do we have under sports? We have classifying sports. We have different types of sports, and we're going to talk about them all. And we're going to classify them. We're going to classify. We spoke about classification before, and we said it's a mental activity that you engage in without knowing. As a human being, you have this tendency to put things, to organize things together, okay, based on what they have in common or what they share. Okay, so classification would be when we talk uh, perhaps about the university, and we have so many students, right? We classify them, okay? Classify them how? Okay, we put people who belong to the IT department together. We put people who belong to the English department together. You put people who belong to the business department together. This is called classification. What other classifications can you make when it comes to students at the university? You classify students into male and female, right? You classify students based on their center, for example. We have people who are from Jeddah, right? This is a group. We have a group who belongs to Riyadh. We have a third group from perhaps Medina and Dammam, right? This is called classification. And here we're going to classify sports. We're going to talk about board games. We're going to talk about sports that would need you to use your physical power. There are other sports that are not as physical. Okay. Right. And then we're going to talk about sports in education, and whether sports in education is good or bad. Obviously, it's good. And whether we have that in schools anymore or not. And then board games. We're going to focus on board games. And then in the writing section, we're going to learn to write for and against pieces of writing. For means that you like something, and against means that you are against something, or you don't like something. Okay? Okay. So this is the listening part, and like I said, for logistical reasons, we do the listening part as if it is a reading. We go to the script or to the transcript at the end, and we read them, the different transcripts that we have. So what do we do with the listening? You guys have the videos, and you can always go back to them and listen as much as you can. Okay, so this part has a subheading, and it's racing, opponent, and achievement sports. So this is the first classification that we have. We'll talk about sports, and some of these sports is called achievement. We're classifying them. We're dividing them, we're putting them into groups, these sports. Some of them are called achievement sports, and some of them are called opponent sports. Perhaps if we explain what opponent and achievements are, it will make life easy for us. So what is an opponent? Give me a synonym for the word opponent. Synonym, like we said, is a word that has the same meaning. So opponent, do you have a synonym? Do you have a meaning for the word opponent? Okay, so obviously no. Okay, so opponent means enemy. You know what an enemy is. So if you have an enemy, this enemy likes or dislikes you, likes or hates you, your enemy. So people are either your friends or your enemies. So friend would be the opposite of enemy. Yeah, okay. So you're getting the idea of enemy, right? Okay, so how do we use it in sport? In sport, for example, if you watch, if you're a fan of any of the teams, so your team plays and the other team is its opponent. For example, if we have a match where there is Al-Ittihad and Al-Hilal. Okay, so Al-Ittihad is the opponent of Al-Hilal, and Al-Hilal is the opponent of Al-Ittihad. Are you getting the idea? Okay, so, and then we move to what we call achievement sports. So achievement sports are sports that, through them you collect points, okay, and you achieve a status. Achieve a status, you become ahead of the competition. You're number one, for example, and then somebody else would collect scores and points and becomes number two, and so on. Okay. So look at the sports on the opposite page. Okay. Which of these sports do you like? Okay, let's look at the sports. Where is the sports? Can you see them? Can you see these different sports? Yes, you can, right? Okay, good. So what is it that we're going to do now? We're going to listen. Of course, not listen. We're going to read. Unless it works, let me check whether we can have. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take us to any listening. Wait. I'll try to have it work. No, it doesn't. So number the sports in the order that you hear them. So let's go. This is I think we should listen from here. Wait. I would like to check whether it's going to work or not. Whether you can listen or not. Okay? Are you ready? Tell me. Tell me whether you can hear or not. What's
Track 4.2.
Today I'm going to talk about sports. As you know, there are many different sports, but it is possible to classify them into groups. The verb classify comes from the noun class. So classifying means putting things into classes or groups. So, first today, I'm going to classify sports into 3 groups and then give examples of each type. Then I'm going to explain the reason for classification. Why do we classify sports in physical education training?
Okay. So it's not clear, but when you watch the the video, it's going to be clear. But we'll go all the way, like we said. We're going to go all the way to the script, which is 4.1. So 4.1. Okay. So we're doing 4.2. I would like you to read it. You can read it from here. Okay. So 4.2, I would like you to read it. Okay. So you're done with 4.2. We have a teacher and she's talking about sports. So this is the introduction, right? You got the feeling that this is the introduction. Okay. So what is it that she's going to do according to the introduction that you have? Okay. Okay. So she's going to talk about sports and she's going to classify sports. And she defined what classification is when you put things in classes or groups, right? Okay. Okay, and of course you classify based on reasons. You don't just classify, right? Okay. So let's move to 4.3. I would like you to read the rest of the class or the rest of the lecture. Can you do that? Yalla, go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes to read it. It's on the screen. Okay, okay, I told you go. Okay, no problem, Ahmed, no problem. Okay. Okay, let me know when you have finished. We're reading track 4.3. So are we done? Okay, whenever I ask you this question, when I ask you, are you done? Have you finished? I expect three answers. One of three answers. It's either yes, it's either not yet, it's either halfway through. Okay, so where are you? Are you done? Yes, not yet, halfway through. Are you done? Okay, Fairuz is saying she's halfway through, which means that she is beyond the middle. She's almost done, right? Okay. Done? Okay. So who else? Who is halfway through? Who is not yet? Okay. So let's talk about it. So how do you find this classification? Is it convincing enough? Do you like this classification of sports? Did you like what is interesting about it? Don't you think that it is so organized? It organizes your thoughts, right? It's good. It's always good to classify things, to put them in groups and classes, right? It makes life easy for everyone. Okay. Okay, so how many sports are we talking about, or how many groups of sports? So we have sports, and the presenter or the lecturer or the teacher divided sports into three, like Rahab is saying, three categories or three groups. Okay, what are these three? Let's talk about them. What are they? Still remember them? Okay, so they consist of three. Okay, groups, you have racing sports, right? You have opponent sports and achievement sports, right? And then after she spoke about the three groups, after she divided them into three classes or into three groups, she started to talk about every and each one of them. And even within each and every group, you have a sub-classification or a subgroup, right? Let's take them one at a time. She started with what? With racing sports. Racing means what? What did she say about racing? So what is it that you do with racing sports? You try to become ahead of somebody. You race with somebody, right? And then when she spoke about racing sports, she spoke about them. She said that racing can be um, through the power of human body or through machines, right? Or the power of machine. So there are two subcategories here. Some racing sports just use the power of the human body, right? Like running and swimming, while the other would use the power of machines like using bicycles and motor and you can also have motor racings like cars. And then she spoke about opponent sports. What did she say about opponent sports? Opponent means that you have somebody that you are playing against, right? This is how she defined opponent. And then she said that you also can have two categories, right? You can have you can be competing or playing against an individual, like in tennis, or you can have two teams competing against each other, right? And then she went to achievement sports. Okay, but how did she explain achievement? Achievement, she said that you're trying to reach a target or a goal, and she gave us the example of golf, right? And in this case, golf would be a target sport. Okay, sometimes you try to cover distance, for example, like in high jump. This is a different category of achievement sport. Okay, that's good. That's interesting. Let's go back. Okay, this is the classification. Can you see that? So you have classifying sports, and then you have racing, opponent, and achievement. Can you see that, everyone? So classifying sports, racing, opponent, and achievement. And under racing, you have human body and you have machine. Under opponent, you have individual or team. And under achievement, you have target or quantity. Okay, when we go to racing, we have human body and machine sub classification, and under them with human body you have running, right? With machine you have cycling. With opponent you have individual and team, and under individual you would have tennis, and under team you would have football and volleyball and all these sports. And then when you move to achievement, you have either target or quantity, and under target you would have golf, and under quantity you would have sports like long jump. Is that clear? So this is how we classify things. You see, classifying makes things easy for people. Okay. Okay, so based on what we have read, can we answer these questions? I mean, true or false? Yeah, this is based on what you have read. Yes, we can. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes for that. Look at them, and we can always talk about them. Ready? Okay, let's talk about them. So there are 4 groups of sports. No, she said that there are 3, right? So the 3 groups of sports are racing, opponent, and level. What do you think? Is that correct? So the 3 groups of sports are racing, opponent, and level. No, it's not true. It's false. We don't have level. We have racing, opponent, and achievement, right? So the 3 groups of sports are racing, opponent, and achievement, right? So we can divide racing sports into human body and machine. We can divide racing sports into human body and machine. Yeah, I think this is correct. Okay, when we talk about racing, you race, you run, for example, using your human body, or you can race using a motorbike, for example, right? Or even a car. This is part of racing, right? Cycling is a racing sport in the human body category. So cycling is a racing sport, that is true, but it is not in the human body category, right? It is in the machine category, right? Tennis and football are both opponent sports. Tennis and football are opponent sports. I'm asking you. E. Yes, true. So tennis and football are both opponent sports. One of them is individual, which is tennis, and the other is team, which is football. Yes. Golf is a target sport. Golf is a target sport. Yes, that's correct. Long jump is an achievement sport, but high jump isn't. Actually, the two of them are achievement sport. No, wait. High jump, yes, high jump. With long jump, you don't compete with others. It is also an achievement sport. Children learn to deal with pain when they are racing. Children learn to deal when you race. If you're using your human body, okay, there is what we call stamina. You need to develop stamina. You need to be able to kind of tolerate pain, right? It is true that with racing you deal with pain. Children learn to react quickly in achievement sports. Yeah, they learn to do just that. I'm not sure achievement sports are about reacting in the first place. Okay, that's interesting. We're getting lots of information about sports. Okay, let's look at the vocab items. You have the word achievement, alone, branch, game, mountain, opponent, racing, result, and win. So do you have any issues with any of these words? Do you have any problems or challenges with any of them? So alone, when you do something alone, it means on your own, without the help of anybody else, right? When you talk about small kids, they cannot do stuff alone or on their own. They need help, right? Okay, result. You know the result when you do an exam and you wait for the result. You take 50 out of 60, you take 20 out of 30 or 40. This is called result. And also the results of a match. You ask about the result. You say, who won? What is the result? And people would say, Hilal perhaps won. And Al-Fatha got defeated, for example. Okay, so people in sports, people either win, which is positive and good, or lose, right? Okay. Okay. Another bunch of vocab items. Look at them. So you have the word against, classification, classify, deal with, individual, quantity, reach for, react, rely on, target, and team. So what is to rely on? To rely on means to depend on someone, to depend on something. Okay. Okay, an individual would be the opposite of group. People, when we talk about people, they are either one or many. One would be called individual, and the many would be called group. Okay. So let's talk about me and you. You guys are 45 or 43 or 40, yeah, 45. So you are the group and I am only one. So I am an individual. I am the individual, right? Are you getting the idea? Okay. Target means a goal that you're trying to achieve. So what is your target in this semester? You have to set targets for yourself. When I ask somebody about his or her target, he would say, I want to score A this semester. Okay. Let's move to something interesting. Um, by the way, people use classification whenever they take down notes because it's easier. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can. I was saying that while taking down notes, people use classifications. They divide things into groups and classes, and that makes it easy for them. When they go back to their notes, they can remember everything, right? Sometimes you don't have the time to go over the details that we have read. So if you have notes and if you're using diagrams, and if you're using classifications and grouping, that would kind of solve a lot of issues and problems. So making notes of classification. So lecturers often classify items into categories, and this is what we have seen. The lecturer or the teacher that we have heard or read classified items into categories, into groups. Okay, branching diagrams are the best way to record notes of classification. So if you're listening to the lecturer, to a lecture or a class where the teacher is classifying, the best way to kind of get what she or he says is to use what we call branching diagrams. Like you see sports, and then divide sports into racing, opponent, and achievement. And then under racing, you have body or machine and stuff. So the best way to record a lecture that has a great deal of classifying would be the branching diagrams. Lecturers often say, for example, there are 2, 3, 4 kinds of, and then you start using this branching diagram thing. So you can make a diagram with the correct number of branches and complete each branch as the lecturer names, and then you put them under each other. Okay, and then the example, you put the lecturer normally starts with the group and then goes down, breaking it down with examples. You put the examples under the group, under the word. You can always give more examples of your own. And we have, for example, here, let's assume that there is, I'm giving you a lecture on literature. You know, literature, poetry, drama, plays. Are you familiar with the word literature? I'm asking you. When you have poetry, when you have novels, short stories, right? This is called literature. Do we have famous literature figures that you guys know? I just want to establish or get to know that you know what literature means. If you go to the English department, for example, you'll do literature, right? Okay. So you will have people like Shakespeare, people like Emily Bronte. These are called Agatha Christie. I'm sure you're familiar with the name. These are uh, literary figures, and they write literature. Yes. So if I'm giving you a class on literature, an introduction to literature, and you are writing down, you're taking down notes, I'm going to say literature is classified into novels, short stories, plays, poetry. So you're going to write, for example, the word literature, and then you have this branching thing. But like I said, it's easy. It's always easy to use this branching diagrams while you know, taking notes, taking down notes that are based on this idea of classification. And as you can see, you have literature, and under literature you have novels and plays, and of course other things. Here we're talking about prepositions that we use after verbs. Okay. When I say reach for, rely on, take off, look at, hear about, okay, these are called prepositions. And if the meaning gets changed, okay, we call them phrasal verbs. For example, when I say, for example, look at, so look at the door, or look at what? Look at the street. Look at him, right? Obviously, the meaning doesn't change. This is a verb and then a preposition after. But when I say look out, the meaning gets changed. Look out means I am telling you take care, or something bad will happen to you. Okay? In this case, I'll call this combination look out, I'll call it a phrasal verb. Okay. Okay, let me ask you this question from your language experience. Are phrasal verbs, I mean the verb and the preposition that comes after, are they negotiable? Negotiable means that I can use any preposition. Look, for example, and I can use look in to mean look at, to mean look out, to mean look forward to. Of course not. I mean, the meaning is not negotiable. You cannot just choose the meaning that you like. Okay, so it's not I mean, their position and their meaning is fixed. In other words, okay. So some, and I am reading the skill. Some verbs are always followed by a preposition. Yeah, true. You should learn to recognize the sound of the whole phrase. You know, when I talk about consist, you don't say consist in. It has to be consist of. Right? When I say rely, it has to be, you don't rely in. You don't rely at. That's why I'm saying it's not negotiable. You cannot come up with your own preposition. No, it has to be on, rely on. Sum up. You cannot sum, you can for example say sum in. No. Sum up. So as you can see, the meaning gets affected. When I say look up, when I say look up, when I talk about, for example, it's not looking up. You look, I mean, you kind of change the position of your neck in order to look up. No, I'm saying look up. You look up a word in a dictionary, for example. You search for the meaning of a word. Look up a database, right? Look up the database for your name. Remember when I sent you the files that has the grades? What did you do with them? Remember the files where there were names and then your grades? This is a database. You do what with them? You look it up, looking for, trying to find your name, right? Wait. Okay. So look up means to use a dictionary. Look for means to try to find out. And look after means to take care of something. As you can see, the meaning gets changed. That's why we're calling them Phrasal verbs. Okay, so from our experience, we would like to locate or find the right preposition. And the meaning is there. Perhaps this can help. So blow up means explode, and then find something. Find, you need a preposition. I'll leave you to think about them for a minute. Go ahead. You guys have a minute. Look at them all. Okay. So let's do them. So number B, find and then a preposition, and the meaning is discover. So what would be the word or the preposition? So find, we need a preposition that when we use find out. Yes, like I'tidal is saying, find out. Give, and then you need a preposition and it would mean return. Return something. So give, give, give. So you're returning something. No, you don't give up. This is not what it means. Give back. Give back. Okay, and then go. Go. Rise. It means rise. You but go. Go up. Right? We go up. And then keep. Keep means continue. Keep. With keep, continue. It means it can be keep on or keep up. Even keep up is okay with keep. You keep on or you keep up. And then look. Look. Look, and it means take care of. So look after. So you look after. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So and then G, put, and it means postpone. If you don't do something now, you do it perhaps later. So it's put off, OFF, put off. So put off means to postpone, to reschedule something. Instead of doing it now, you do it tomorrow. Yes. Sort, and it means you need a preposition and it would mean organize. Sort out. So sort something out. Sort out, organize. Take, and it means remove. Take, and it means remove. Remove, it means perhaps take off, OFF, or take away, right? And then think, and you need a preposition and they would mean consider. Think about it. I'll think about it. It means I'll consider it. Give me some time, I'll think about it. turn, and you need a preposition, and they would mean to start something, to operate something electronic. You're going to say turn on, right? And then work, okay, and it would mean understand. So work out something. So it would mean work out. Is that clear? Okay, so let's move somewhere else. Okay, can we do exercise 3? I think we can, right? I'll give you 2 minutes. So you're going to use the phrasal verbs of exercise 2. You're going to use them with exercise 3. You guys have 2 minutes from now. Go ahead. Wait, finish first, ya Heidi. Finish all of them first, and then we can always talk about them. So this is exercise 3, where we're going to use the phrasal verbs that we used in exercise 2 in order to complete the sentences and fill in, or I mean, kind of close the gaps. Okay, so let's do them together. So number 1 or number A, try to the meaning of the word before you look it up in a dictionary. Try to So what are you going to say? Are you going to say find out or think about? The two of them are correct, by the way. Try to think about the meaning of the word before you look it up, right? B, can you the money tomorrow? Can you give the money back tomorrow? Can you give back the money tomorrow? Okay. So give me a few moments to the problem. Give me a few moments to give me a few moments to perhaps think about the problem. To think about the problem. Yes, like Heidi is saying. We'll have to the meeting. I have to go to Germany tomorrow. We'll have to space the meeting. I have to go to Germany tomorrow. We will have to put off the meeting. Yes, it means postpone, but we need a phrasal verb, yeah, Feiruz. Okay, so we'll have to put off the meeting. I have to go to Germany tomorrow. E, could you the television? I want to watch the news. Could you turn on the television? I want to watch the news. Did you space the name of the inventor of the petrol engine? So did you find out the name of the inventor of the petrol engine? Yeah, that's good. See how important phrasal verbs are? Okay. And now let's move to the speaking part. Do you have any questions so far? So far, so good. Any questions, everyone? Anyone? So this part is about sports in education, like we said. And we're going to start with some vocab items. Look at these vocab items. Attacker, can you see them? Attacker, defender, enjoyable, exercise, foot, goal, hand, popular, score, and team game. Do you have any challenges with any of them? Do you find any of them uh, challenging in any way so that we can perhaps explain it? So again, we're talking about sports. When we talk about sports, especially when we talk about team sports and competitive sports, you normally have attackers and you have defenders, right? Think of Ronaldo, for example, as an attacker, and think of, I don't remember names of, I mean, defenders are not as popular as attackers. This guy, I mean, what's his name? What's his name? Real Madrid guy, the captain of Real Madrid. Ramos. Yeah, Ramos, yes. Heidi is saying Ramos. Ramos is a defender, while Mohamed Salah, for example, is an attacker, right? Okay. Um, yes, Ramos, like Heidi is saying, yes. Popular means that likable. I mean, everybody talks about him or her. Okay, interesting. Okay, so what is it that we need here? He wants you to find pairs of words. I mean, the word and its opposite. Okay, can we do that? I'll give you a minute for that. Finish them off. You find as many pairs as you possibly can, and then we talk about them. You guys have perhaps a minute from now. Okay, easy. Let's do them. Attackers. So attack, what would be the antonym or the opposite of attackers? Attackers, the opposite would be attackers. Defenders, like Heidi is saying. So attackers and defenders. Feet is done for us. So feet and the opposite would be hands. Goal, goal, goal. It doesn't, by the way, it doesn't have to be, I'm sorry, it doesn't have to be opposites. It can be, I mean, collocations, words that always come together, for example. So sometimes they are opposites, and sometimes they are mere collocations, words that are always used together. Like goal, for example. Whenever you have goal, you have what? What goes with goal? Score, excellent, Heidi. You score a goal, or you score goals, right? Okay. And then long, 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 short, excuse me, long and short. Long and short come together. Okay. Roll, roll. Okay, role. Okay, if you work in a team, if you're part of a team, you have a role to play. Everyone on the team has a role. We have defenders, we have midfielders, right? And we have attackers. These are different roles. These are different roles. We spoke about score and we said score goals. We spoke about short and tall, short and long, right? Team. When we talk about team, we talk about defenders, we talk about attackers, we talk about goals that they want to score. Um, yes, but I don't see any word that would fit wide. Wide, I don't see anything that would go with. Sometimes we say wide score, if I'm not mistaken, which means that it is a big score. Okay, nice. Okay, so this part I would like you to listen to this part on your own, and you perhaps need to fill the cards after you have finished. Okay, but it's again about sports and different types, and whether those different sports, whether they are team or individual, and how many people are involved in the sport and stuff like that. Okay, listen to this part on your own, and then okay. Perhaps we need to listen to this part because it's about the value the value of sports in physical education. PE means physical education. You know, this is something that you perhaps used to do. There is a period or two for PE or for physical education, and this is actually one of the most enjoyable periods in a day. Okay, so let's read this part. This is going to be actually, we might perhaps need to listen to the whole thing. Let me or read the whole 4.12. So let's move to the transcript and move to 4.12. Yeah, that's interesting. So we're going to read 4.12 and 4.13. Let's first of all finish 4.12. When you finish it, we can talk about this. We can proceed to the second. Go ahead. You guys have a minute. Done? Okay. So the lecturer is going to talk about games, right? What kind of games? What kind of games are we talking about? We're talking about ball games, right? No. She started off talking about ball games and then she's going to talk about the examples of ball games, what ball games are, okay? So, no, I don't want you to give me examples. Just say ball games and then we talk about examples later. Perhaps you're spoiling the question for me. I was about to ask you if you tell me that she's talking about ball games. I would ask you what ball games are, and then you give me examples, right? But you have obviously spoiled it for me. Thank you. So ball games are games that would involve a ball. You need to have a ball, right? So you're talking about football, you're talking about tennis, right? So there has to be a ball involved. Okay, so of all these different ball games, she decided to talk about what? So what is it that she's going to focus on of all these ball games? She's focusing on what? She's focusing on football, right? Why? Why is she focusing on football of all the other ball games? Why is the focus on football? No. She said that she's going to focus on football. And my question is why? Why is she focusing on football? And because, yeah, like Abdul Tawab is saying, because it's the most popular. Everybody likes it or loves it. That's true. So, okay. And what did she say about football as a ball game? What did she say about it? She said that it is a team game, right? Right? Where you have two teams competing against each other. Yeah. She also spoke about what each team consists of. Each team consists of 11 players, right? Okay. And then she started to talk about the value. Oh, okay, go to 4.13. Now go to track 4.13 and read it, and I'll give you a minute. Track 4.13, read it. Okay? Read it, and we'll talk about it after you have finished reading it. Okay, so what is it that she's talking about in this part? Is she still talking about how many people there are in on each team and stuff like that? Obviously, no. She's talking about the value of football in physical education classes. What are some of the values? Values means she's talking about why football is important. If we talk about values, she's talking about what is it that students learn, children learn when they play a sport like this one, like football. So what did she say about that? So what is the value of football in PE classes according to the lecturer? Any idea? Okay, so Rahaf is saying that they enjoy the physical activities involved or allied and associated with football. What else? What else? Yeah, they develop coordination. Coordination means that they cooperate with each other. They help each other, right? Okay, so they help each other. This is coordination, and even coordination on the level of the individual himself, the member of the team. He coordinates between his eyes and his feet, for example. He coordinates, he or she coordinates the movements of his body, right? Yes. What else? What else do they learn out of playing football? They know that football is a team game where people have roles. Like I said, you have defenders, you have midfielders, and you also have attackers. So everyone on the team has a role. So they know that life is about roles. You play a role and other people play other roles, right? And you cannot play all the roles, right? And like Abrahman is saying, they also learn about winning and losing. Okay, because life is full of winning and losing. So they learn to accept loss. If they lose, they learn to accept that, and if they win, they learn to perhaps show humility and low keenness. I mean, they shouldn't be full of themselves or proud when they win, for example. They should humble down. Yes, these are things that people learn from sports in general. Yes, that's interesting. Okay, let's go back to. So now that we have read it, I would like you to kind of complete the exercise and fill in the gaps on your own. I mean, after perhaps you finish from here. Okay. So these are words. Okay, just give me a second. Let me see whether we have pictures for that or not. Okay, so talking about games. So look at the photographs. Which sports words from the box can you find? You have words like fan, supporter, player, winner, loser, line, ball, net, bat, and court. So look at the pictures and the photographs and see whether these words are in the photographs or not. Can you do that? Yes, I think you can. Easy, huh? Okay. Okay. So do we have fans in the pictures? Hmm. Okay. So do we have supporters in the pictures? Yes. We have fans and we have supporters. Okay. So do we have a net? Do we have a net? Yes. Do we have a court? Right? In order to play tennis, you need to have a court. In order to play squash, you need to also have, I don't know whether they call it a court too or not. Do we have losers? Any losers in any of the pictures? Yes. I guess we have a loser in F, right? Okay, good. Okay, so I would like us to fill in the spaces. Go ahead. Um, okay. I guess we'll have to stop on this note and with this item. I promised you to kind of speak to you about the errors and the mistakes that you have made. And I'll do that inshallah next time. Instead of giving warm up next time, I'll start with highlighting the errors and the mistakes. Okay. Our next time is going to be Tuesday at 4, like always, and we may need Wednesday for an extra class. Okay, so we will come on Tuesday at 4, like we always do, and we can always agree whether we need a Wednesday or not. Okay, everyone, is that clear? So I'll see you on Tuesday, inshallah, at 4 p.m. And until then, I wish you all the best. Assalamu alaikum. Um, Somebody's asking about her mark. She needs to go and check whether she belongs with us or not. Lots of the students who approached me were with other teachers. So you need to check. Check if you are session 7. I am session 7. If you're 7, send me a WhatsApp message. Okay? What wajib? We're done with the wajib, yeah, Bandar already. I said I was supposed to give you your errors today, but we didn't have enough time, and this is something that I'm going to do next time at the start of the class. Okay, if you're 7, and go back to the files that I sent to the groups. And if you don't find your name, send me a WhatsApp message. Okay? Okay. So again, on this note and with this item, we'll come to the end of today's